Welcome to England and a whole lot more. It was once connected to Europe because of geography, but ice is melting, sea levels are rising, the population is on the rise, which means more food is needed. The sail arrived on British ice and soon spread across the land. The Britons diversified into several different tribes. Iron response is helpful. The cell lived across most of Europe during the Iron Age several hundred years before Julius Caesar. They occupied many parts of Central and Western Europe, especially what are now Austria, Switzerland, southern France and Spain. They were brightly colored and embroidered shirts with swords, cold and coats fastened at the shoulder, with a brooch, heavy in winter, light in summer. 2. The Second Period, the Roman invasion of Britain. In 43 AD, Emperor Claudius invaded Britain. Soon, the Romans settled down in whole England and Wales. Their strategy was easy to divide and conquer. By the beginning of the 5th century, the Roman Empire was collapsing. Rome lost its control over Britain and new invaders arrived. Slaves were mainly prisoners captured in battle. They came from any country in Roman Empire, including Britain. The slave could be men, women, boys, or girls. If a slave married and had children, the children would automatically become slaves. Slaves lived in country and they worked on farm. 3. The Third Period, the Anglo-Saxon. In the ninth century, Vikings attacked the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms. In a few years, the Vikings had conquered almost all kingdoms except Wessex. So King Alfred led the army against Vikings. He broke Vikings' army and became Alfred the Great, the first king of England. Anglo-Saxons were pagans. They worshipped lots of different gods and goddesses, gradually converted to Christianity from the 7th century. This period is an agricultural revolution of Britain, introduced new farming methods, crop rotation, and found thousands of self-sufficient villages. 4. Normans. During the Middle Ages, England became one of the strongest nations in Europe. King Edward I was the first English king who conquered Scotland, while Edward III conquered Wales and Ireland. William led claim to England's throne after Edward died. He was a distant cousin of Edward, and said that Edward had promised him the throne when visiting France in 1051. He even said his claim has been accepted by Harold Godwinson in 1064. When Harold had been blown onto Norman shore by a storm, William invaded England to become a king and claimed the throne from Harold. Contact trade between England and Europe greatly increased, brought Domesday Book, more language and work, Tower of London. 5. Tudors. King Henry VIII took the throne in 1509 and would be remembered as one of the greatest successes was the Protestant reform. The Catholic Church lost control over England, while Henry earned a lot of money from the reform. Mary I became the first queen, but she is Catholic and killed many people who didn't agree with her, religion giving her nickname Bloody Mary. Her sister Elizabeth I came the next. She defeated the Spanish fleet near Dover. She managed to create the first English colonies in America, Virginia. England began a golden age of exploration, naval triumphs, poetry, music, and literature. An English stoner named William Shakespeare invented over 1,000 words of English language with words like eyeball addition. C. Victorians. While Victoria was queen, there was a tremendous trend in lives of British people. Britain became the most powerful country in the world with the largest empire that had ever existed, ruling a quarter of the world's population. Factories and machines were built to meet this demand, and new towns grew up changing the landscape and the ways people live and work. 7. The Second World War. On the 3rd September 1939, Great Britain entered World War II to protect the capitalist world and communist USSR against the Nazi war. During the war, Great Britain stopped German advance by the sea, while USSR by land. In 1944, while the war was almost over, American allies invaded France. It was there that was war coming to the end. On 8 May 1945, War II, the British economy was totally destroyed. 8. Britain today. In this time, Britain is one of the most developing countries in the world. The UK is not only a gorgeous land with sparkling lights and shining skyscrapers in the night, but it also has numerous hotspots that attract many people all over the world. With long-lasting history and multiple countries' locations, UK is an exciting mix of international cultures and contemporary thinking, intertwined in a spirit of strong identity and tradition. The UK is the world's top museum, art galleries, music venues, and theaters. Outside the cities, there are many beautiful countryside and castle historic houses, parks, and gardens. Typical trips often include Stonehenge, Oxford, Cambridge, London, York, and Edinburgh. This area is like a picture full of poetry, with nice people who has a lifelong passion for sports. A four-season day, a cup of tea on rainy days. All of these fascinating points definitely make that land so attractive and interesting. That's all about our presentation. Thanks for your attention.